Back when Skyblock was first released, the endgame was pretty much just getting a bunch of one different item. For example, you could get a bunch of emeralds and then make the emerald armor set after unlocking the collection, or you can make the pigman sword after slaying a bunch of pigs. But recently, there's been a lot less focus on collections, so what happened? The reason that I wanted to talk about this is because of Iron Man being released. Now, Iron Man is pretty much the same thing as normal Skyblock, except it's completely different, whereas you can't use the bazaar, auction house, you can't trade with people, you pretty much aren't allowed to like interact with other players. You can still start a co-op though, so that's pretty fun. But it builds upon what Skyblock was when it was released, which is pretty much just you chilling, collecting a bunch of stuff and unlocking a bunch of stuff. But like I said, it builds upon it, because you also aren't able to just buy something off the auction house. Because when Skyblock was first released, going back to the intro there, it was pretty much just putting down minions and then collecting them after a while and getting good stuff. But if you did grind money, then you could probably buy stuff off the auction house whenever it came up. So this solves that problem, and also allows you to get new content as well, which is pretty fun. Collections are honestly really underappreciated, and you start to see that when you play through Iron Man. For instance, the grappling hook, something that almost everyone has through playing Skyblock. In Iron Man, you need to go out and hand grind, or I guess you can use minions, but you know what I mean. You need to grind all 10,000 of that string to get the recipe to make it. You can't get it from other players. And do you want to go ahead and put protection on your armor? Well, you gotta go out and grind for the recipe for that book. In Iron Man, everything that you do has to be built off of collections. There's still the stuff like dragon armor and ender armor that you can go ahead and get, and it's certainly an upgrade over what was first present when Skyblock first released, but you need to go and grind it yourself. You can't just buy ender armor 5 minutes into the game like you would on a normal profile, though this video isn't just talking about Iron Man. In the main game, there's certainly lots of ways that collections help the player, and one of those is making enchanted items, because like, can you imagine going through the game without being able to make your own enchanted items? I think it would technically be possible, but it'd just be really annoying. So things like that, things that are quality of life, are really important in collections. But recently, there hasn't been really any quality of life upgrades to collections. A perfect example is the Hyper Furnace. That is technically a quality of life addition to the collections, but it doesn't really do anything to actually get the recipe, because you can simply buy one on auction. There's no real point in getting it. It's kinda sad to see the driving factor of early Skyblock kinda fall into unnecessity through endgame content, but as far as I can tell, there really is no reason to pursue higher recipes in endgame. I've gone ahead and gotten 100% recipe book just because I like being a completionist, but as far as I can tell, the highest collection is actually redstone at 1 mil. Go ahead and fact check me on that because I didn't like look into it very much, but there is really no reason to grind collections very much when you're in endgame, and it's honestly pretty easy to max them out if you want to. So I'd like to see some way that collections are implemented further into the game where, like, I don't know, maybe you have to have the full collection to use an item. That would probably be a pretty dumb solution, but maybe like have higher collection requirements to unlock a recipe or something. That might be cool to add something new. But pretty much just me talking about like good old days of Skyblock, thinking and back and reminiscing like a boomer, so I don't really know. So yeah, this was pretty much just like me rambling on about collections and the good old days of Skyblock. And I know my upload schedule is pretty garbage recently. That's because I'm working on a video that's taken a long time. So it'll honestly probably be a long time until I upload again, because I'm only halfway done with it. School doesn't help either. So if you want to subscribe for a garbage upload schedule, go ahead and do that. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later. Bye!